Okay, I thought I'd just do a quick update, just looking at the Aussie, because we've just had the RBA sort of rate decision come out, and as expected, they've sort of popped it up by 25 basis points. But the reaction from the Aussie dollar, and also then if you flip across to the ASX, is certainly not something that you'd normally expect to see. The market pretty much rides on the fact that they sort of want to get higher rates into the currencies, but when you've got it like so heavily predicted, sort of prior to the event, I guess you've just got all these people that have already sort of packed in their positions, and they're just sort of using it as a chance to sort of sell into the news. I think sort of the initial reaction is sort of basically, if we get right down on it, you can see, look, it popped for a second. Coming up prior to this, obviously we had a sell down start of Asia. Coming up sort of like the last sort of half an hour or so prior to this, we saw Aussie sort of push back up a little bit and sort of pare part of its losses and that from earlier in the session. And then obviously news dropped, popped, and then bang, smack down into it. So yeah, look, it's quite a sort of interesting one, and Aussie certainly doesn't seem to be able to sort of get a break really, because it's just been battered down for so long. A couple of interesting sort of points that I'm looking at here, though, the fact of where it actually stopped. So if we drag this out here, we've got the previous highs. Obviously from from Thursday last week, it was made the top of that sort of little kind of range, which gave us our breakout there. That gave us, the sort of breakout point. So this gives us a bit of a back test here. And I am one to sort of say that, technically, from a technical standpoint, I should say, you do want to see those back tests when you get the breaks. So certainly I was expecting it to sort of pop up a little bit and hold a little bit more here, but obviously the reaction hasn't been that at all. So yeah, we've sort of seen retest of this, and also then if you drag this up here, this is another one that I noticed up the top here, also comes in line with the 61% fib, so for the retracement of this last drive higher. So I think this is a short-term line in the sand to sort of see if it can hold this zone. As I say that, it sort of just is punching down a little bit more. But yeah, certainly if it can hold this zone, you might be able to get to see some sort of reprieve. I mean, end of the day, they did raise the rates. You've got a lot of the other central banks which are pausing and starting, as much as sort of people think they're going to be coming around to sort of cutting, they're not. But, pausing's the first step before you get to your cuts and that. And certainly, Aussie sort of raising does make it a little bit more of an attractive sort of currency or pair at the moment. But if we get rid of this sort of smaller fib here, we do see that this large breakout move, though, we're still actually only not even at the 38% of this large move up here. So I would say probably you might, if we see this sort of 55 area zone break, I reckon back down around 37.40 before we sort of find a little bit of support, and then possibly we could see another sort of attempt to push back up towards that 65. I think, look, I don't think this is going to be like the sort of, that's it, Aussie's done, bang, it's over. But certainly the reaction was one of, people were ready for it. And the second that they got the pop, the volume coming in, they've just crushed straight down into it. So I think sort of line in the sand is these previous highs just here at the moment. Yeah, if we break through down these, I'm going to be sort of looking around the sort of 40 zone to sort of see. I mean, I still think that we will appreciate a little bit with it because at the end of the day, as I said, they did raise rates. So, although you may be getting this move sort of straight off the bat from a reaction of people sort of, obviously sort of forecasting this move, we're also seeing DXY sort of push back up towards its sort of 38% position as well. So I would say, a little bit of stuffing around down here, but I think sort of later in the session that we still may see a little bit more upside. All right, that's about it from me.